Revolutionary mindset, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question, bro. So now going into the legal status in Israel with the community. Um, Now, why is the government taking so long, to get everybody situated? Because I know some brothers and sisters there, and I understand their frustration, what I'm saying, of the situation. Can you just elaborate why do you think the government is taking their time on this? It's a long time, man, 50 years.
It's real simple. It's
Mm-hmm.
real simple because they just don't want our other brothers and sisters to be able to have that same opportunity to be able to make their
Mm,
repatriation to the land.
mm,
They
mm.
don't want to open up what they call a can of worms. So they've been preventing that. You know what I mean? They've been preventing us from being able to get what we deserve because they say that if they give it to us, then Palal is coming afterwards.
I want mine too. Not
And, and, and some other people are coming afterwards. So we got to make sure that we don't give them nothing, and we still can't be able um, to confirm if or not once we give the people who we're trying to give or who we don't want to give it to, even if it's a small number. They're using that in the meanwhile as a small number, but it's going to get larger and larger and larger. So
Mhm,
they're afraid of that, and I think their biggest fear is understanding that we know who we are.
mhm,
And although the state of Israel was created by the people it was created by,
mhm.
it still don't take away from the fact that this land was promised to the children of Abraham.
Exactly.
And so you you don't define and determine who the children of Abraham is.
Mhm,
The children of Abraham, there's history, there's geography, there's anthropology,
mhm,
and there's spiritual connection and remembrance.
mhm,
And our people now are remembering where we come from and who we are. So they want to limit that as much as possible when it comes down to people of this skin hue. Want
mhm,
to limit that as much as possible. So even with the people who they quote unquote recognize as being Jewish, which we
mhm,
don't identify as, we are from the tribe of Judah, so we are Judeans. But the Ethiopians, they still have a lot of them that are left in Ethiopia for 20 years. They still haven't brought them up here. Even those that they brought up here, they're still giving them hell and hot fire.
mhm,
They haven't really provided them all of the rights like they're given to, for example, the Ukrainians that are coming in Israel, and they have no connection whatsoever. And they even say that, but still, it's a racial thing.
mhm,
And
mhm,
so it's both racial and it's a matter of identity.
mhm,
They know who we are. The only way that you can be able to deceive somebody is that you
mhm.
have to know the truth. And
Exactly.
so the only way that they've been able to deceive the world in regards to who we are is that they know the truth of who we are. And
Mhm,
so that's the biggest fear. But like I say, this is the last step because once we overcome this by fighting and continuing to stand on our principles, after that, that's it. There's nothing more they can do. So they're preventing us from being because once we open the gate and come back home, then that's it. So they want to push us back as much as they can. But it's just a matter of time, Palal. It's
mhm.
just a matter of time. And we in it for the long run,
I see, man. I
you
see,
know?
man. I mean, they like you. I mean, the can of worms is already open. The bag, the cat already out the bag. The things, it's just a matter of time that more brothers and sisters gonna be coming there. And it's gonna be it ain't even gonna have, they gonna think it has something to do with Dimona. They be like, I got other brothers and sisters over here, they over here, they trying to, they what it's Dimona fault, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
nah, because it's the door is already open, y'all went in there, y'all opened that door. You know what I mean? The door is already open, and I look at that as prophetically. I look at that as politically. I look at that as, something that needed to happen, So yeah, man, but it's okay. It's okay. Because eventually, the table will turn.
It
So
has to.
yeah, it will. It definitely will. Let me ask you this. Speaking about, legal status and stuff like that, let me go into the western part of the land of Eden. Let me go into so how do you feel, should African Hebrew Israelites be recognized as citizens in Africa? Even as much as, in Israel, just as much as that too. Israel is in Africa, by the way, too. I ain't going.
Yeah.
But as an Africa as a whole, do you think Hebrew Israelites should be recognized? African Hebrew Israelites should be recognized as African citizens, of the continent, also, like our other brothers and sisters.
First of all, absolutely. For a few reasons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first reason is because evidently we know that those brothers and sisters were taken into the Western Hemisphere, whether it's North Africa, North America, South America, the Isles of the Caribbean, Europe. They were taken against their will. The majority of
Mm-hmm.
them. I'm talking about the people who migrated there. I'm talking about the people who were taken there and enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in addition to that fact, we had a lot of brothers and sisters on the continent who were involved in that, who sold some of our brothers and sisters into
Mm-hmm.
slavery. Now, if in Israel there is a law that's called the law of return that allows anybody who they identify as being Jewish based on their own, definitions, and you can come home, and as soon as you come into Israel, from wherever you're coming in the world, at the airport, you get a passport. And once you get in the land, you get a whole basket of things to be able to allow you to adjust to your new life here in Israel, and you're welcome. That should be the same thing with our brothers and sisters on the continent. Now, I know that the um, Americo-Liberians established Liberia to be a colony where those who are looking to return back to the continent will be able to come back to and to reestablish themselves on the continent. But that should be like that with every country on the continent. That every country on the continent says, "Welcome home, brothers and sisters. We're happy that you all have made it back."
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know that that Ghana had the year of return in 2019, but the people who are returning shouldn't have to go through the same process that anybody else has to go through to get citizenship, a
Mm-hmm.
naturalization process or whatever the process may be. You, each of us, should be welcomed back and given fundamental things to allow us to adjust to the continent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it is actually something that will be more beneficial and helpful to
Mm-hmm.
the continent because for way too long, outside forces have been exploiting us, coming in, using their knowledge, their expertise, or whatever, and causing our brothers and sisters on the continent to believe that they don't have the wherewithal to be able to do for themselves. And then you loop the natural resources, the human resources, the mental resources of our people, and bring in a foreign ideology, a foreign doctrine, and try to implement that in Africa. And that's what we've been trying to implement in Africa, and it hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
We need an African idea. But now, brothers and sisters who, like Moses and like Joseph, who had been reared in the king's house,
Mm-hmm.
right? That they had the knowledge, they had the expertise, they had the information
Mm-hmm.
from what was considered, to be high society.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they use that in order to be able to assist our brothers and sisters with, doing what they needed to do while they were in Egypt during that period of time. That has to be the same thing. The brothers and sisters who are coming from the diaspora back to Africa, bring that information, bring that knowledge, bring those, those degrees, bring all of that. We'll implement an African idea in Africa, using our brothers and sisters also from the diaspora. And together we can be able to then strike a change that we won't need to rely on others. We can rely on ourselves. We have enough business developers and people who understand, all of these things that we believe that we need in Africa, and they're able to help and to assist and to, obviously to contribute. That's what we need to do. We need to allow those. Now, I'm not saying just allow everybody to come, because, you have some people you don't even, I wouldn't want to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we have to be intelligent about how we go about it. But yes, I mean, people should meet certain criteria or whatnot. But we need to open the gates. It can only benefit us. It can only benefit us. And so we that's the thing about the African ideology, our people in general. We always have a problem with each other. We can't seem to get along. We can't, when it comes down to us doing for ourselves, we will be more reliant on other people than us.
Exactly.
And a lot of times you hear what people say, man, I can't depend on Black people for nothing. And then they go down a list of the reasons why. They can't open on time, they can't this, they're not professional, blah, 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 all of these things. So we need somebody else from the outside. We don't need nobody else from the outside. We can be able to do it ourselves. We just have to have patience with each other. We have to have another level of understanding, and we have to have that level of integrity, right, with each other to know that if Palal say he's going to do something, he's going to get it done, and I can go to sleep on that. That's what we need from our people. So we have to open the gates and let our people come back home. At the gate, you arrive, boom, citizenship and a little bit of land and some other stuff. They said that we were gonna give them 40 mules and 40 acres and a mule in America. We ain't got it. We ain't got it since. Let's get that 40 acres and some other stuff in Africa, where you got the natural resources, where you got the food growing wild, where you have, some of everything that's great there. I want my 40 acres and a mule in Africa. Forget about what they said in America. Give it to me in Africa.
Exactly. Yeah, they, hope this stuff reaches, the presidents of Africa. Hope they understand this. And they should, maybe they just need more understanding and things like that. Or maybe it's something else holding them back. Well, it may be another government holding them back, another institution. So, but it's true, man. What you're saying is real, bro. Now let me ask you this: when will the children of Israel come together? Because like we talk about, it's past time. It's past. When will the children of Israel come together, my brother?
I can't answer that, because like I say, there's so many people that are on different pages at the moment. And most people don't even understand the importance of us operating as a unit and working together. Now, even in the past times, right, the 12 tribes, most of the tribes were doing their own thing. Everybody had whatever they had going on, but we had a king. Well, we really only had two kings over the United Nation of Israel. And after that, we had the nation of Israel and the nation of Judah. And then throughout the generations, it just kind of fizzled out, and we were dispersed into the diaspora. And We never really made it back home like that. So that you not, I think it would have to first of all come from proper leadership. That people would have to put the egos aside, because right now too many people are really egotistical about the ways to go about things. My way is the right way, and no, we're not going that way. We're not doing that with those people. I got beef with these people. I don't really like them like that. This, I don't get along with this sect of people, and so it's very, very tribal.
Yeah, yeah.
So the only way that we can be able to actually overcome that is we need proper leadership. Proper leadership that can be able to give us a vision going forward. Proper leadership that can be able to lay out the plan for unity. Proper leadership that can be able to overcome, their own, personal desires for the greater cause, the greater good of the whole. Proper leadership that is able to work together and put down our swords and, beat our swords into pruning hooks. That we can now be able to, operate as a unit, connected to one another. That comes from leadership. And I don't believe that leadership comes from the top down, but it's a leadership that grows out of the people. It's a leadership that is developed from servitude. That these servants are people who are looking to provide a greater a greater light to the people, and then the people then gravitate to that, and they appreciate that type of servant, and then they ask for that servant to be one that is going to lead the direction, because we are confident enough in your desire to see us move forward that we are happy to allow you to be the one that lead the way. You can't coerce yourself into that. You can't force the people to appreciate your leadership. You can't force the people into acceptance of what your vision is or your direction is. It's something that grows out of people. And so, like what you would read, and I think that was Isaiah that unto us a child is born, and a son is given, and the government should be on his shoulder, and he should be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Prince of Peace. And a son is born unto us, out of us, from within us. Not something that came from the top, or not somebody that was appointed, but he grew right up out of us into that position that of servant leadership. Once we have those servant leaders that grow out of people, that's when that change is going to come. And I tell you, Palal, it's not a long time before that happens.
Yeah, I can take it. Yeah.
Because now people are really trying, people are thirsting for leadership.
Yeah, yeah.
People are thirsting for servitude, for direction. People really, really desire to see a change.
Yeah.
And the only time they're actually going to submit is when they know that these people have been anointed and appointed by God based on their service.
Yeah.
They just want King David wasn't looking to be nobody's king. He's like, look, I'm out here I'm out here in the streets. I'm out here with the ones that y'all say y'all don't really give a lot of attention to them. I'm just a shepherd. But and Jesse was like, no, these are all the sons I got. Samuel like, okay, this guy's handsome, this guy's intelligent, this guy's a warrior, but you gotta have something. All of these people are great. They're very, very accomplished. This is not what God is looking for. God is looking for that simple one that just want to serve, want to give of themselves for the betterment of the whole. And you can recognize those people by their works. You look at their works and you know, okay, these are the people who actually are working for the greater betterment of the whole. And so that's where the Spirit then descends into that person and takes on that form within that person to then allow that person to be the one who's going to be anointed by the Spirit and with the oil running down from his head, because he's been found to be one who the greater good of the whole is what is most important to him, opposed to his own greater good.
Mm.
We'll be
Yes,
able, we'll be able to recognize those people once they come.
I agree. I agree. They formulating now.
They're formulating right now. That's right.
Definitely, definitely, man. Let me ask you this.